Okay, well, I'm Christina,
Jamie,
Caitlin,
Mara, Teresa,
and we are with Forever Country. Yeah. And Forever Country they started 6 months ago by Steven Spellman, and they sell sweet is not kind of original country and working and incorporating swing, two-step. It has riffs and aerials and different variations of dance. So he sells instructional DVDs as well as shirts online mostly, and he has one store that he sells his products in. And at our first consultation, that's where most of us met Steven, and we found that he's a new business, so it was a blank canvas. There was a lot for us to build upon and build with our. Oh. Permission.
the old one.
Oh, just close that one. We'll edit that part out.
Yeah, edit that. And what we found is that he's a blank canvas, so there's a lot of room for us to build around. Some strengths we found were that he had a Facebook presence, and a lot of the people on his Facebook were very excited about his content, very directed at a niche market. So that was one of the strengths that we saw. Another one is that he had a lot of his videos posted on YouTube, and he had 80,000 plus views, which is really good as well. And his website, he has an existing website, and it's really easy to navigate, and there's a lot of pluses on his website. Some of the weaknesses we found were that he didn't have a lot of followers on Facebook or likes, and he also doesn't have a Twitter, or didn't have a Twitter at the time, which left room for a lot of opportunity. And there's a lot of organizations or clubs in Orange County that we could feature this style of dance and introduce it to in Orange County. So that was also an opportunity for us. Some threats were country music doesn't have as huge of a following in California as it does in other parts of the country, like the South or in Texas, where I think he's from. And there was a direct competitor, which is True Country, which is kind of exactly the same thing. So now we'll go into our goals and objectives.
All right. So our goals and objectives for this client was to definitely increase awareness. What we were using, a big part was our social media, Facebook and Twitter. We were able to increase many likes on his Facebook, and Caitlin and I worked on creating a Twitter for him and getting a following through that. We utilized YouTube because initially YouTube was the strongest area that he had for social media. There wasn't a lot of activity with Facebook. He didn't have a Twitter, but there was a lot of videos that he had on YouTube, samples of his work, so on and so forth. So we really wanted to continue that going up while we did the Facebook and Twitter as well. Also, to increase awareness, we had a goal to host at least 1 to 2 events in which at local, like Orange County-ish areas like Tijuana's, we were kind of shooting for a dance studio and really get the dancers out. And what we wanted to do there was get people to see exactly what Steven does, what his DVDs would offer, kind of give them a taste in real people and do kind of a real life thing. So it's like once they try it, oh, he's a good teacher, I can do this, so on and so forth, and maybe kind of get them to, at minimum, buy or follow us on Facebook or Twitter.
Some of our key messages and themes are, well, our biggest one actually came from Steven himself, which was, country isn't where you live, it's how you live. And I feel like this was very important for us to get across to people, so you don't have to live in Texas to enjoy Forever Country DVDs. It's a lifestyle, and we want to touch as many people as possible. Another key message about Forever Country is the distinction about country swing dance. It's not just country, it's not just swing, it's a blend as well as other dance styles such as 1-2 step and salsa and West Coast swing and all of those things combined. Lastly, we wanted to get across to people that these are instructional DVDs and that they will make you confident on the dance floor. So if you want to go to these places, you're not really sure what it's all about, you can get these and become a star on the dance floor.
Okay, for our strategies, tactics, and tools, like you said, we definitely utilize social media to the fullest. For social media, we use 3 main platforms. The first one being Twitter, which Jamie and Caitlin created. They started by following people in the country music business. So it goes from the musicians from the Keith Urban, the Country Music Awards, which was ongoing during our campaign, which we also utilized into our posts on Twitter and Facebook to generate some sort of conversation with the people who liked us on Facebook, because we really wanted to get to know our niche market. Most of us, or I can say for myself, I'm not very familiar with the country market or the country music scene. But of course, as a client, as you offer your services, you need to get to know your market and really get to know why it's such a niche area and what exactly their interests are. Facebook, we use that to promote our events, talk to our potential customers, fans of our events, and we also posted on other Facebook accounts as well, such as Country Mondays for Tijuana's. We would advertise or post our links to that wall as well, because for Country Mondays, they're eventually going to be familiar with the Forever Country company as well, since it's actually a very local place where Forever Country has kind of made a scene in that area. YouTube was definitely utilized. Stephen actually made a couple new videos which we posted on the Facebook. So it was really important that we cross-link these platforms on the different social media, on like a Twitter. For example, I would post a Twitter link on the Facebook, and the Facebook link would be linked to the Twitter as well. So we can try to gain a more complete 360 following for our followers. For the Tijuana's event, we use more traditional sources of promotion. We made a media list of local news outlets and pitched the event for coverage. We also posted 3 calendar postings, for the event in order to gain more publicity. Flyers and word of mouth were also really important to the promotion of our Tijuana's event. A flyer was posted on a Facebook event, which we utilized to gain more people to make more people come to the event. If they printed out the flyer, if you're 18 to 20, you would get in for half the admission with the flyer. And if you're 21 and over, you would actually get in for free. And word of mouth was definitely used to the week prior. The DJs would actually remind the audience at Forever, the Country Monday nights, Country Mondays at Tijuana's, that there was going to be a Forever Country event the next week. That night, there are a lot of regulars at the event, and of course with the people there, they would tell their friends and they would come to the event as well.
Okay, so for our first measurement and evaluation, I have our Facebook analytics, which as you can see in the presentation, the photo is not pulling up here right now, but there's a notable increase in the likes leading up to the event. Stephen started out with 189 likes on Facebook, and that increased to 312 by the end of our event. And if you look at the analytics, it kind of shows a chart that shows the increases and where the spikes were. And it's a steady spike as you look at it. But then leading up to our event was on the 21st, and on the 20th, it has this major spike that just jumps all the way up. We got over 20 likes that day leading up to our event. So that was definitely a plus there. And kind of going back to the Facebook real quick, another thing that really helped us with the Facebook was that the Tijuana's Facebook kind of paired up with ours as well, so there was a lot of cross-promoting going on there. The Tijuana's Facebook actually created a Facebook event that had 99 people confirmed to attend the event and 32 people confirmed as a maybe attending and 1,023 people invited. As far as the Twitter goes, we managed to create the Twitter for Stephen. It wasn't something that he was familiar with initially or that he had thought of creating, but we created that for him. And at the end, he ended up with 22 followers and 129 following. As Mara already mentioned, that included various artists, Go Country 105, other country-related people, and 19 tweets. We also, in regards to a little bit more traditional media, but still pertaining to online awareness, OrangeCounty.com wrote a teaser article leading up to our event, and they actually had a photographer come out to our event as well, who created a photo collage with a blurb, and the photo collage got 9,956 views. They told us that it did kind of include maybe people who clicked on it more than once. And then the photo collage also placed 10th for OrangeCounty.com in the month of November as most viewed. And for the calendars, there were 7 calendars that Christina submitted, and out of the 7 calendars, 3 were posted, and they're just kind of, a little blurb about Tijuana's and, pertaining to the Forever Country Night in particular. We also had the Forever Country event at Tijuana's, which was on November 21st. We had Jamie and Caitlin went around and selected 10 random people to take video testimonials / interviews of, and we reviewed them for tonality and found 10 positive reviews. As Christina already mentioned, there was a flyer posted online as well. I created the flyer, and it was posted both on our Facebook as well as on the Country Mondays Facebook, as well as the promoters for the country nights kind of passed it around too. And as Mara mentioned, the flyer was used to get in free by those 21 and plus, and from 18 to 21 to get in half off. 18 people brought the flyers. We weren't able to see if they got in free or how old they were, but 18 people printed that out. And as I already mentioned, 99 guests confirmed and 32 confirmed as maybe attending. And it was a decent night. I personally have been to the nights before, and Stephen taught both of the lessons at this night. And the first lesson is at 7:30 and the second is at 8:30. The 7:30 lesson generally never has anyone there. It's kind of early to be out and about, but it was a full house, lots of people there. And Stephen did manage to get some sales. He sold 6 t-shirts that night as well as 4 DVDs. And actually there was one other thing that we didn't put on there, and that was that we did also create a pitch letter for Stephen to pitch to bloggers to review his DVDs. We also created a media list for him of bloggers that he could pitch them to. We didn't actually end up pitching it because he's redoing his DVDs. So we didn't actually pitch it, but that is readily available for him. As soon as he does redo his DVDs, he wants to up the quality since he's becoming more and more successful. So when he is finished recompiling his DVDs, we'll be able to pitch those as well. That's all.